Hello friends, welcome to our home at Young's Crossing. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm just going to make something, and I've showed you them before that I had made, but this time I'll show you how I make them. And they're miniature cards, miniature little greeting cards like these. I've got them tied together with some gold string, and then I have the envelopes for each one as well. Today we're going to make some. So all you need is paper, and I use for my card itself, I like to use some recipe cards, the blank index cards, that's what you call them when they don't have the lines. Some index cards because they're just the right stiffness. For the envelope, I have printed out this. For my card, I happen to have this little straight edge, little flexible thing, and I'm making my card the width of it when it's opened out. So when it's opened out, I've got it, I think it's 1.5 inches. I have a pattern here that I made for the envelopes. And the way I did it, like this, say this is one sheet of paper. I get my card and I lay it down, and I see it's going to fit there. Then at the top of the card, you draw a point. At the side, you draw another point coming together like so. When I first did this, I opened up an envelope, regular size one, and kind of, reminded myself exactly how they're shaped. I recommend that you get an envelope that a used one or one you're going to throw away or don't care about, and tear it open. Then you get the idea, of just how it's cut out. That's what I did the very first time that I made one of these. Got the envelope torn open that I'm going to use to go by. And I have an old greeting card here. It's a used one. With this envelope torn open, and say you have the card, you can see that it's folded over right at each side and cut in a point, and this one's got the blunt cut there, and then that leaves the top to a point. Okay, that's the way an envelope, if you had a regular one in your house, if you opened it up, it's going to be shaped similar to this. Now I take the corners, the sides, and roll them in, fold them in like so. See, I just fold the sides in. Then this blocked off edge, pull it up, and it comes over the 2 points like an envelope does. Then you'll just fold the top down like you would be shutting an envelope. And there we have it, this little envelope. Now we have to glue it, and you have to be careful so that you don't glue the envelope together. I'm just going to put a dot. I'm using tacky glue right now. And I find sometimes it's a good idea to stick something in there so that it won't glue to the back side on the end. Then you look and see where it's going to hit. And there we go. Gonna let it dry like so, and we'll have a pretty little envelope. index card and lay my card out. Got the card cut out. Now I'm going to fold it together, and you have your card. Now you can decorate it however you choose. To make the box for the envelope, I'm going to lay it down, and I have to figure out how deep I want the box. Well, it just depends on the size of your envelope, but I'm going to make it about, it's not a half. So I want to put this down all the way around my envelope. Now let me draw the line. Okay, I've got the right size box flattened out here. Then I'm going to want, and the reason we're measuring the envelope, not the card, is because the envelope's a little bit larger. So here we have it. Mark off the corners here. So, got this. See, I already have mine done from a long time ago. I'm going to score it. Now I'm going to fold the sides up on that scored line all the way around. Now on the long part, you're going to cut on your fold line on all sides, both sides. Cut on your little fold line there. This is your pattern, and you may want to try it first before you save it as your pattern. So I'm going to do that. A little glue on the outside of your little flaps, and then you're going to pull them in like so. Pull it in. We're going to clip each side so that it will glue down. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other end. Fold in your little flaps. Then you're going to do the same thing. Push your box up to the end. Like so. And then we're going to let it dry. Then I'm going to have to make the lid to the box. And the thing I run into a lot, I forget and make it so they won't fit in. So I need to make the lid just a hair larger than the box itself so that it will go on. Now this one works. I've got a card in there. So that works fine. So you just have to kind of play with it and you'll figure it out. There. I lucked out, and this paper that I'm making my envelopes out of has these cute little birds. So I'm going to try and glue one to the front of the card and see how that looks. And depends on if I want my cards to go this way, which I think I do. Okay, I just used the glue stick to put the little bird on there. Now, it was too hard to cut his little legs out, so I'll draw those on myself. And I printed this off of Etsy, and her YouTube page is Our Porch Prints, and I may not have it exactly right. But anyway, I went on the Etsy shop and printed out these little papers that I can make things from. I'm going to look at the picture because I didn't cut out the legs. The legs are just barely there, and they kind of lean to the front. And then the beak. Looks like so. It's not too terrible. I had a really thin calligraphy pen that I did it with. So you could make your whole box of cards that way, or put something else on there, or put nothing on there, or write something on there. But I just think it's fun to do something like this. And then on the inside, you can write your sentiment or leave it blank, whatever you desire. And I'm making these for a friend, so I may just leave it blank and then put it in her box, and she can decide. The second card. And also on the back, like a Hallmark card or something, they usually have something on there. So you could put the date, or lots of times I put my initials and the date. Let me cut out another little bird. You could cut out little flowers, like if you have some scrapbook paper left over, stick it on there where I want it. And you could do it with a pen, but sometimes the pen on mine will smear, so that's why I'm using the calligraphy marker. Oh, and I went ahead and put my little stamp print I usually use there. Here are my 4 little cards. They're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I make sure they each fit in the envelope size I have. And they do. But when you buy a box of cards, the envelopes are always in the bottom, and the cards are stacked on top, like so. So that's what we want. Okay, I glued them, and just like before, I'm stuck this little paper in there so that the envelope won't glue to itself. Do you say envelope or envelope? I say it different all the time. My in-laws used to say envelope, so it just depends on where you're from, I guess. This is one I made a long time ago, and it's a fold-over lid rather than the other. I had a heart-shaped hole punch that I put there, punched it out, and then on the inside I glued a piece of red ribbon so that it would show like that. Then I made the little red heart. I hole punched each of these and did the same thing, and then I have their envelopes too. I guess I should have put the envelopes in with the cards, but I put them separate. And close your little lid. Okay, my envelopes are dry, so I'm gonna fold them up. That's 1, 2, 3. I have some gold thread here. Get my cards. I've got 4 of them. I'm gonna lace them up. Okay, I got the envelopes and I got the cards, and I'll stack them together, and then we'll put them in our box when it dries. Here we are again today. We're gonna finish this project of miniatures up, and I'm gonna package them up to send to a friend. So let's get finished. Well, I had glued this little box together last night, and once you put it together, I thought, that's kind of big for the miniature I was thinking of. But then again, you can, when you open it, you can see both the stack of cards and the stack of envelopes. So I decided to go with it. So there's my little box of cards, and I'm surprising a friend with. And there's the envelopes and the cards inside. That's one. And then I've got this one here that I made a long time ago. And it's odd that the envelopes don't show on that one because they're plain. Now, another thing that I'm sending my friend is this little lamp. I've had this since I played Barbies. I'm 69 years old, so that tells you. I just know that when I pass on, I can just see my kids just tossing things out because they don't want to mess with it, which is their prerogative. But I don't know. I don't think they would realize this is something special, but this is a little lamp, has the little bulb in it, and I could not find a transistor battery anywhere in my house or out here, so I can't show you. But the last time I tried, it did work. You just touch this to the transistor battery here, and the light lights up. But I never could figure out how to leave it on. This right here probably needs a little electrical tape on it or something. I don't know. It's not that strong, but I just think it's a cute little lamp. I used to use it in my Barbie house, and I just love it. But I just had it in a shelf, and kind of a miniature shelf, and like I say, the kids aren't going to care about it. It's just not their jam. I want to get it there safe. So I had some of this left over from presents, and I bought some earrings in this box the other day. So I'm going to lay it in there carefully. It's a really sturdy little box, so once I put it inside the other box, this should be perfectly safe. think it'll be fine. Then this box, I don't know if this is going to work, but this is another thing I had. I got it about the time I did my lamp. My mom had got them for me at a garage sale, I'm sure. But this little stool, it was always a little small for Barbie, but I had other dolls. Anyway, it's just a little stool, and I'm pretty certain it's plastic. So I'm going to put it in this box and hope it gets there safe. There. Those two things. Then I have my cards. What? There. I think it's going to fit perfect. Might just wrap it back up. This particular friend would appreciate that idea and understand. Not really maybe appreciate it, but she would understand why somebody would reuse something like this. Got this and this. These are some extra boxes I brought out. And this. Okay, so I got the lamp, the stool, the little cards. Oh my goodness, I think it might work. It surely will. And they're going to be nice and tight in there. Yay! I made a little note for her package for the inside. And as soon as I'm sure it's totally dry, I'll just slip it in and wrap it to mail. I'm adding this one last package. I'm not going to show it just in case she watches this before she receives it. And got my note. I'm going to stick that in. And I have my little package. Okay, I've got the package all wrapped. Now I need to wrap it in my brown paper. All right. I've got my big roll of packing tape. Got it all done. Package is ready to go. But for the ending of the video, I'm going to show you a really small, quick peek at the hydroponic garden. It's flourishing and I just want to share it. And then we'll close out the video. Thanks. As you can see, my little hydroponic garden is flourishing. I picked squash last night, and there's another one ready, and soon to be more. And there, I mean, these leaves are huge. And I can't get over the size of the stalks. Look at those. I mean, they're bigger around than my finger. There's a couple of jalapenos. Probably pick tomorrow. And these are our tomato plants. And like I said, they're just now really starting to put out the tomatoes. There's one almost ready down there. We've eat a few, but now they're just taking off, taller than me. If you don't like pulling weeds, this is the way to go. Just wanted to share that. Well, that's going to do it for today at our home at Young's Crossing. And I so thank you for stopping by. And if you could like, subscribe, share with someone you think might enjoy it, that would be very helpful and I'd appreciate it. Thanks again. See you next time.